Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back. We are continuing on the Crf110 build. So I'm going to throw two parts on today. So as I mentioned in the last video, I got accidentally sent the wrong part number for the foot pegs, so they sent me out the right ones, so you can see for Crf110, not YZ250. So we got those, and then we're also going to throw my BBR skid plate. So the tools that we're going to need for all of this, like needle nose or any pliers for the foot pegs, that's kind of all you need. And then for this, we're going to need a couple Allen keys. I'm not exactly sure what size, probably like 5 and 6. And then a 6mm by 1 tap, and I think this is a 13/64. Yeah, I think this is a 13/64, which it is, yeah, 13/64 drill bit, or 5mm, which would probably be a little bit better, but I don't have metric drill bits, so this is the closest thing, which is fine. So we're gonna start with the foot pegs. Let's pop these puppies out of here. So now they actually have the correct part where they hook in. So we're gonna grab these and the foot pegs. So to take the foot pegs out, there's like a little cotter pin here. You just bend it and then just push the pin out, and the spring will come with it. So just bend the cotter pin straight as best as you can. As I completely fail, take this off. Oh geez. Needle nose are definitely the best option here, but I don't have any needle nose at my house. So you take the pin out, and there's a little washer with it, and then you can kind of tap the pin out, and then just kind of jiggle it out here. And there we go. So there's the pin out and the stock peg. Make sure you, when you put it in, you put this side up. Looks like this one is the same one. So we're gonna put this in. I'm gonna do this off camera because it's a lot easier rather than doing it with one hand. And then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so we got the foot peg on. Just took a little bit of finessing it on there. Kind of had to bust out the hammer to push the pin all the way through. Then you kind of have to push on the spring a little bit to get the pin to slide through the spring. So once you do that, then you get your washer and your cotter pin, which I'll try to do here. And then one other thing I'm going to mention. So on the foot peg, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little hole in the bottom. So make sure you put the 2 prongs down, so this way, because if you do it this way, it's not going to have the springy effect to it. So just put it in, and then that will work. And then that's what it looks like They do kind of sweep out a little bit, but it's actually pretty comfy. Way better than the small, tiny stock one, so definitely a big upgrade. And those are everything that I get for this bike is either on T-Bolt or like BBR or Faster Minis. Those are great places to buy parts for these things. So yeah. So up next, the more in-depth part here is putting the skid plate on. So with this, you're gonna have to drill and tap a hole on one part of the engine, and then this 2 big bolts. These go on the foot peg mount, and then these 2 side ones. This is the hole right here that you have to drill and tap. So you can see kind of it's not threaded. Honda doesn't thread that anymore. But this side is. So you can just hook into that and it'll work. So we're gonna start throwing this on. Let me get some sockets actually for this, and then we'll throw that on. Okay, so I already kind of went ahead and drilled this, but you take your drill bit and you just go all the way until it goes all the way through. Once you do that, then you can take your tap here, and then you're gonna tap the hole, and then this hole is all set. Okay, so I just tapped the hole. It's always best to double check that your threads are good. Which we are golden. So yeah, 13/64 drill bit if you don't have a 5mm, and then M6x1 thread tap size, and then that will work pretty easy. I mean, since I'm a diesel mechanic, I have all these nice tools, but this is just a snap-on one that I have. So yeah, you just tap it, which there's no clearance issues with the pipe. It threads right in perfectly. Same thing with the drill bit. Just get a long drill bit and then just go to town. So with that being done, I also took the 2 bolts in the front that hold the foot peg mount. So took those out. They are 13mm. You just pop those out, and then you're gonna replace it with these bolts that BBR gives you. So we're going to throw this on, and make sure when you put those in, use some red Loctite, high strength Loctite, because you don't want any of these to pull the threads out or break or whatever, because it's really important place. Because if you screw up the threads or crack the case or whatever, it's not gonna be a fun time. So make sure you red Loctite all these bolts that you're putting on. So we are going to throw So we're gonna throw the skid plate on. I'm gonna throw some red Loctite on there. This is the gel kind. I kind of like it a little bit better than the kind of watery ones, because this you don't lose all your thread locker on it. So I'm gonna tighten up all these bolts, Loctite them all obviously, and then I'll show you what it looks like after. Okay, so now this is finally installed, the BBR skid plate, and man does that look good. So make sure you put red Loctite on the foot peg bolts and the ones that go onto the motor itself. This is a 10 millimeter, and the ones that go in the back that BBR provide are 6 millimeter. So, or 6 millimeter Allen key. And one thing that I kind of noticed, make sure you leave the, thread them in, but just leave them loose so you can get all the bolts in threaded nicely, because if you tighten them all, you have no play in the skid plate, and then it's just not a good time. But yeah, we'll get some shots of this. So now I finally got the bottom of my motor protected from scraping everything, and they also give you a nice little hole to change your oil, which is really cool. And honestly, I was kind of scared to drill and tap it, but it's not bad. Like, if I rated it from 1 to 10, I'd say it's probably a 3, if that. It's like really easy, like anybody can do it. Okay, so I actually read online that you can get it to fit with this plastic cover. You kind of just have to bend this little arm out just a tiny bit so it can go in between the motor, and it fits perfect. So you just want to put it on the skid plate on the outside, not the inside. That's kind of what I was trying, and it didn't work. So yeah, just so everybody knows, this does fit on there. Just have to bend this just a tiny bit, and then it fits perfect. So yeah, now we can protect that sensor from just getting blasted. So now we have a little bit of a protection there. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us today. Just had a couple parts laying around that I needed to install, so this is kind of a short one. But yeah, everything that I get for parts is either from T-Bolt, BBR, or from Faster Minis. Those are like my top 3 places. When I used to buy 50 stuff, it was all like Fast 50s and places like that. The guy from Fast 50 is actually a really cool guy, so if you have a 50 and you need parts, hit up Fast 50s. They're really cool place. But that's gonna do it for us today, guys. Appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you in part 3 of the Crf110 build. Peace out, guys.